Hello everyone, and welcome to a new boss ranking series on the MattTGM channel. Granted, the last two haven't gone all that well, but this time I'm fully determined to see this one through to the end. Helps that it's only 4 episodes. Today we're covering a franchise that I've already confessed my love for several times over, Devil May Cry.
Let's rock, baby.
Bucky!
However, in this video series we're not just covering the top 10 bosses, or even doing a game-by-game ranking like I was going to do for the Arkham series. We're doing it, for the first time, in a full franchise boss ranking style. Every boss in the series ranked against each other from worst to best. All 52 bosses will be compared to each other and ranked in a definitive list, at least based off of my own opinion. The series will consist of 4 videos, the top 10 worst bosses, 42 to 27, 26 to 11, and then the top 10 best bosses in the series, and these videos should be released all well before the end of the year, so yeah, expect some high quality content coming at you soon, hard and fast. Unfortunately, today we're not starting with good content because we've got the top 10 worst bosses in the Devil May Cry series to shift through. Usually this series knocks it out of the park when it comes to boss fights, with highlights like Virgil, Mundus, Goth Virgil, Sanctus, and Virgil but as a dad. However, every franchise slips up on bosses from time to time, and there'll always be a worst boss no matter the overall quality. It's just a shame that the worst bosses here are also bad bosses. Without further ado, let's go on a journey through hell as we look at some straight hot garbage.
Yeah, let's go all the way to hell.
Jesus Christ, this boss is bad. I foreshadowed this in my September update video, but the Infested Chopper and Infested Tank are by far the worst bosses in the entire series. Technically they're both classed under one boss called the Infestant, so me classing them together here is justified. However, if I was to rank them separately, Chopper is way worse than the Tank. It chases you throughout an entire level and shoots at you all the way, all while you battle bad camera and bad controls, and then, when you finally face it down on a rooftop, you have to just sit there and shoot bullets. See, in Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, taking down helicopters, while slightly annoying, was pretty fun, seeing as it took barely any time at all, and you got a flashy finisher. Here, you just sit there, and your thumb hurts from smashing the square button so much. See? Look at this. I'm having so much fun here. See, the reason why the Chopper is so much worse than the Tank is blissfully easy. It's literally just a standard enemy with a bigger health bar, and you can melee it easily. You can just sit behind the tank and it can't do anything. It may be boring as all hell, but at the very least it's not frustrating. Unlike the Chopper, you actually have to try with that one. If it knocks you off the roof, you have to get back up to it with shitty Devil May Cry 2 platforming. Just fuck these guys, some of the worst bosses of all time. Water levels in games suck. Bosses in the water suck. Fish suck. Mix all those three together and you get the second worst boss in Devil May Cry history, Tateobesu, this shit fish. All this guy does is swim around and try to hit you with a total of 2 different attacks that I experienced, and they're not even that hard to avoid if you can get the stupid water controls down. So, if it's so inoffensive, why is he so low on the list, just one above the worst? Well, for one, as mentioned, the water controls suck. I don't know why Devil May Cry 2 just decided to randomly shoehorn in some water levels, but goddamn, they were some of the most tedious parts of the game. For 2, this fish has way too much health, he takes way too long to kill. For 3, and worst of all, this fish turns invisible. Constantly. And while it's like that, you can't attack it because you can't lock onto it. So most of this boss fight is just swimming around waiting for this thing to reveal itself, which sucks because of the large health bar and stupid controls. Your damage is not high enough to kill this thing quickly, even with Devil Trigger, which is notorious for killing things quickly. The one time it has to fail me, it's here, against the second worst boss in the entire damn series. I guess now we know that this thing must be a catfish, because it's such a pussy. Jesus, why are the names in this game so stupid? Noctpteran? Noctpteran? Noodles? Who the hell names a boss that? The name is probably the most memorable thing about this stupid bug, because upon writing this script, I couldn't remember for the life of me what this boss was. Upon remembering, I wish I could forget it again. This stupid moth is just terrible. Why are all moth bosses in gaming so damn boring? This game is like the Infested chopper, you just However, he at least summons minions that damage you quite a bit if you aren't careful, so he gets marks over the last two for being kind of engaging in a way that didn't make me want to die. Don't get me wrong though, it's still fucking terrible. Oh my lord, it's a Devil May Cry 2 boss with difficulty. Is that a good thing? Fuck no, now I actually need to try harder.
Don't speak. Just die.
This 3-mask, 1-mask bitch is absolutely infuriating. You have to shoot to kill, like the other 3 bosses so far, but only one of the 3 masks at any one time is shootable. And these guys actually managed to kill me because their attacks do legitimately good damage and are pretty hard to dodge, especially this lightning bastard. You can even see him laughing at you the whole way. I hate them. However, being objective, I have to give credit to these guys having a cool concept. The idea of having 3 different masks, each with different elemental attacks and attack styles, is honestly pretty cool. But the execution is goddamn awful and I hate it.
If anybody was looking for some stuff, then all they'd have to do would be to follow the spiders.
For my thoughts on the actual Phantom boss, wait till he pops up a lot later in the list. As for this guy, boring as hell, but at least he dies quickly at this point in the game. The worst thing about him is how lazy they were with implementing him into the game. It's literally the same boss from DMC1, except worse. As someone who didn't enjoy the original Phantom fight all that much, seeing this thing was just a straight kick in the balls. We now come to the final boss of Lucia's campaign, and it's quite the disgrace. As one of 2 bosses in one level, Arius-Argosax is a huge step down from Possessed Arius. Aside from a Bloodborne-worthy visual design, all you have to do with this guy is walk around or jump over his pathetic attacks and spam knives, going into Devil Trigger as soon as you get the chance. It's a major letdown for the true final boss of one of the game's campaigns, especially as the other true final boss is... well, we'll get to that later, but this guy is really not worth sticking around for. It's sad that the basic bitch version of Arius is superior to his true demonized form, but that's the reality we all live in with Devil May Cry 2. Also, when I said basic bitch, the bitch part should be emphasized. This guy just hides behind minions in pointless revolver shots that barely ever touch you, or while he just teleports around the room and sips terrible wine. For one of the main villains of the game, he's just as much of a joke as the rest of Devil May Cry 2. Seriously, we've been through 7 bosses so far, and they're all from Devil May Cry 2. That's just sad. I swear that this isn't just a case of me hating the bosses because I dislike Devil May Cry 2 on the whole. I mean, I don't really like Dark Souls 2, or many of the bosses within, but I can easily notice the standout fights like Fume Knight and Cyrillon. In DMC2, there's just no freaking standout fights, or at least no standout fights for any of the right reasons. Arius doesn't even get any major story significance. He has barely any interaction with Dante, which is the preferred fight I have with him because he's easier. He's not built up well throughout the game, his plans aren't established well, and you need to play Lucia's campaign to get any semblance of story from this guy. The only reason Arius gets any credit is because he's not overly frustrating, and this fight is the source of 2 cool Dante lines.
You sweet step?
A false coin for a false god.
What the fuck?
2 of about 4 in the whole fucking game.
King? Yeah. Here's your crown.
This ape may seem innocent, but beware his incredible power. Let your guard down for even a moment, and you'll find yourself at his mercy as he twists the very environment around you to his will, killing you with no mercy. Sorry, wrong orangutan. Okay, here we go, the way worse version. Orangguren is the first boss you'll fight in this game, and he's, well, serviceable, actually. He's nowhere near amazing, he's not even good, but he's a tolerable opening to the game. He has some ranged attacks, somewhat damaging swipes for early game, and he's got a decent sized health bar. He's as basic bosses come, but at least he sets you up well for the lackluster bosses in the future of the game, and he doesn't do anything directly offensive either. However, I'll use this guy to establish one of the biggest problems with Devil May Cry 2 boss design. Guns with Devil Trigger. These things are straight up busted, and it's a good thing too, because without them all these bosses would be even more frustrating. They're your get out of hell free card. However, from an objective game design standpoint, having weapons this overpowered with barely any limitations to them, seeing as you have infinite ammo, that's just bad game design. You can finish off every enemy from range with almost no danger. Sometimes that's even what the game actively encourages you to do, like with the chopper, the masks, Arius-Argosax, and even more. This is just sucky, which adds fuel to the blaze that will hopefully destroy Devil May Cry 2 and take the Orangguren with it. So, Tartarussian and Plutonian. Melee only bosses in a game with broken ranged weapons. Yeah, this'll end well. To their credit, the attacks are actually somewhat formidable, and they do have environmental hazards, at least Plutonian does when you fight him as Dante. Plus, I actually chose, for whatever reason, to fight them in straight up melee combat, so I probably had a more engaging time than with every other boss on the list so far. When you fight the boss as Lucia as Tartarussian, he's a tutorial boss, so he's far easier than as Dante, but at least he's a better teacher than Orangguren. Also, Tartarussian? Where's Tata Japanese? Remember the failure that was Arius-Argosax? Yeah, well this is his pre-evolved form from the same level, and it's significantly better than both him and his vanilla form. He's not quite as ugly, and he actually actively tries to kill you. What a surprise for a Devil May Cry 2 boss. Well, try is the operative word in that previous sentence. He summons these lightning orbs that barely do anything, his slow pathetic swipes aren't a cause for concern, he gets stunned far too easily, and he's not even particularly bulky compared to the other bosses in the game. So why is this guy the best of the worst bosses in Devil May Cry? Well, his story significance, seeing as Lucia actually has something of a story in her campaign, makes him satisfying to beat the shit out of, and because he's so inoffensive, it automatically elevates him above the rest of the bosses on the list, seeing as he doesn't do anything to piss me off. From an objective standpoint, he's probably worse than Tartarussian, but thanks to the minor story significance, he can stand proud at the top of the hill of shit Devil May Cry bosses. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed that boss ranking, even though it was full of shit. I warned you in my update video that all the bosses in this video would be from one game, didn't I? Yeah, Devil May Cry 2 is one of the worst games when it comes to boss fights that I've ever played. There's barely any highlights, and even when there are, they don't surpass the lowlights of the previous games. However, we're not quite done with DMC2 yet, so maybe there'll be one or two more bosses that creep into the good category. With that in mind, stay tuned for the next video in the series. It will hopefully be out sometime within the next fortnight, seeing as I am working on it as we speak. Also, in terms of upcoming projects, please stay tuned for an upcoming collab with Spartan Guy Official over on his channel. Yes, the two of the GLA members are actually working together on a video. Who would have ever seen that coming? The last time we did that was back in 2018. Also, I can't help but notice when looking at my analytics that over 90% of you guys watching this video aren't subscribed. You know, you might wanna change that, might wanna click that big red button. After all, if you didn't, you might miss the next part of the series, and nobody wants that. With that in mind, please like, please subscribe, please comment, tell me what you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good time, peace out.